When I first found out that we were pregnant, it was a really exciting time. Really, we had no major concerns in our life. You know, jobs were going well, careers were going well, and we're gonna have this baby. It was just a wonderful, exciting time for us.
Seeing Gabby rolling and playing on the ground was, you know, put smiles on your face every day.
And there were times when we couldn't console Gabby. I remember her crying, you know, it seemed like hours on end. As well, she became constipated a couple times severely that we had to go visit a pediatrician. And looking back now, those are definite signs that something wasn't quite right. However, as a new mom, you just think, you know, you're overreacting.
I was saying, just relax. She's only 9 months old.
I noticed that we'd have little play dates and the other kids were like pulling themselves up to a stand, and Gabby wasn't able to do that. She wasn't able to crawl or go on all fours. And I think it was the crawling, the not crawling and the not pulling herself up to a stand is when our family doctor was actually the first to say, you know, this isn't right, and he wanted to, you know, send her for some x-rays. But even at that time, I certainly wasn't overly concerned. I just felt that everything would turn out to be okay. So it was our family doctor who pushed for x-rays, which then came back to show that she did have signs of osteoporosis or rickets for babies. And that's when we first knew that something wasn't quite right.
I think it was fairly straightforward. Do some research on what osteoporosis is in babies, and it's rickets. So how does that happen? Let's try and understand that. And
so then our family doctor sent us for further tests and blood work to further understand why she had rickets and these soft bones.
We didn't understand it. She was given all the supplements. She was breastfed. I mean, everything that you would think would be fine for bone development.
We received a phone call from our family doctor, and he called to let us know that Gabby's blood work came back and that there were some kidney issues. He read off the lab values and told us that some of the values were totally abnormal. We just didn't even know how to process this information. The next day, we took the blood values of the lab results and we drove to Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto. That night in the emergency department, they took x-rays and tests and blood. They took urine samples. It was the first time when we felt like, okay, we're gonna find out what's wrong with Gabrielle. We just didn't know what the future had in store for us. The next morning, we were admitted into the nephrology clinic lab, and that was going to be our first time meeting the nephrologist and getting prescriptions and learning about this whole new life that we were going to have to live. And it was that day when they sent the blood work away to Montreal to test, and that is when we first heard about the word cystinosis.
So the way I usually describe it is in every cell of Gabby's body, her DNA instruction for how you get used cysteine, which is an amino acid that the cell uses for energy and for what we do on a daily basis, after it's used, doesn't have an instruction set that allows it to get out. So there's an instruction set for the transporter that usually carries that garbage or waste out of the cell is not there. It's just what happens is it stays in the cell, crystallizes, accumulates, and kills the cell because it basically clogs up the cell. That instruction set's missing in every cell.
I was 6 months pregnant when Gabby was diagnosed with cystinosis. And so we knew that this baby that I was carrying also had a chance of having cystinosis as well. So that was really difficult and I think stressful. We were concerned about the health of our unborn child. At the same time, we were managing the illness of Gabby and all the changes that took place with that. It was a very difficult time for us and for myself. And you know, going through all these tests with Gabrielle at Sick Kids Hospital and pregnant, it was just you know, really too much to handle. You know, at that point, I was just looking to God to give me enough strength and faith and courage to move forward. And I think somewhere deep inside of me, I knew that Chloe wouldn't have cystinosis and that she was going to be a tremendous blessing to our family and to Gabrielle. And she truly is.
When Chloe was born and we had the test results, I mean, we already knew by that time what we would be in for if she did have it. So, you know, sometimes the monsters hide in the closet, so at least we already knew the worst case scenario, and it couldn't get worse than that. So when it came back that she didn't have it, I mean, I think we were elated that, you know, fantastic. It's a blur. The year that we had Chloe is an absolute blur because we started a nonprofit. I started renovating the attic so that her parents could stay here. Just layer on more and more stuff, try and bury it, but it's hard to do.